Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Kumar Sharma. Today again I am with you with a very brand new video. And video number 5 topic is object oriented programming. And today I am going to explain you Python classes, objects, constructor, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction, dunder method, property decorator. These topics I am going to cover in next 30 minutes. In the previous video, which was Python part number 4, I have covered Python data structure. Python data structure play a very crucial role in machine learning. So if you have not gone through the previous video, please go through and then after that come to the Python object oriented programming. Okay, let's start. Here you can see the topics which I'm going to cover today. Classes and objects, constructor, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction, magic or dunder methods, property decorator. So these are the 8 topics which I'm going to cover in next 30 minutes. Follow this Jupyter notebook by downloading from the given link in the description. Class and objects. So blueprint for the creating the object. So basically class is nothing, it's a just when we create the object in any programming language, so we need to create a class first. So in the class we define some properties, methods, variables, and once we need to call that particular class we have to create the object. Through the objects we can call these properties inside the from the class. So this is just a structure in the Python for the class person. Here I have created a person class, and next is my constructor I already have explained, but whoever not understand the constructor, let me explain. Constructor is a type of method which always define inside the class, and when we call the class that time constructor initiate. So for example in this case you will see this structure of this constructor is like a method. In the method we pass the arguments, so I'm also passing 2 arguments in this constructor. So whenever I will call this class I have to pass 2 arguments. So those 2 arguments will initialize in the constructor. In the next one, in this class I have defined one function also, which is greet function. In the greet function I am returning something. So the value whichever I am passing into the constructor will be accessible anywhere in the class. So in this constructor 2 parameters I am passing, name and age. So name, this parameter will go to this property, this parameter will go to this one. And once I will call this greet method, using this self object I can call name property and age property here. So what will happen, just focus on this part and this part now. I will create the object of this particular class. I'll pass 2 parameters as I mentioned, name and age. Object which is the name of the object is person1 will be created, and using this object I can call the method. Once I will call this method, so automatically these 2 parameters which is already into the constructor, and through the self object we can call these 2 property, name and age here. So let me run this program. So once I will run this program, as I mentioned how the value will go constructor then constructor to method, you can see the output from this function have been written and displayed here. Hello my name is, this is hard code value, and the name will come from this particular value which is assigned here, and I'm calling this particular thing here. And my I am self.age years old. So age will come to this particular place. And syntax, I think you already remember this syntax, I have explained many times in my previous videos. So guys, this is the just a structure of the class which we usually call the blueprint of the object. Next is constructor. Constructor I already explained, but let me explain once again. Constructor is a special method called init. Yes, this is fixed in Python. Constructor will be with the init underscore. See, this one is underscore then init underscore. So we will use init only to create the constructor. But in other language like C#, Java, we create the constructor by the class name. but here the syntax is different. Define in it self, comma, width and height. Here again I am doing the same operation which I have done in this class, and width will take the value from the this argument and height will take the value from this argument. And again I am defining a function here. This function is calling these two properties using self, and again I'm creating the object of rectangle class, and this rectangle class rect dot area. Area is the method name. Once I will call this area method, I can see the output from this particular method. Inheritance basically, see, in any application inheritance play very crucial role. So when we write the classes like class A, class B, class C, multiple classes we can write in the program. Sometimes we need to call the properties of class A into class B. Class A is the parent class, class B is the child class. If we are inheriting A class into B class, so B class will be child class, A class will be the parent class. So here the focus on the syntax part, class A and class B. So parent class and this is child class. I am passing parent class name into the child class in the parenthesis. So this is the syntax of inheritance. So what is the advantage of this one? I can easily call the properties of parent class into the child class. That is the advantage. So instead of writing all the functions in the child classes, we can directly inherit parent class into the child class, and automatically all the properties will come to the child class. Here I have defined the proper syntax and proper a program to show you the inheritance. Top class is the animal class, which is parent class here. Dog class again I have created. In the parent class I have a function called speak function. In the dog class, which is child class, because child class, why it is child class? Because I am inheriting parent class here. Again I have defined the same method, but return value is different. I am a sound, this is return value, and bark is return value in the dog class. I have created third class. Here also I am returning this particular class. Again speak method. So speak method is common in all three classes, and animal class is the parent class for dog class and cat class. Now I have created dog class object and cat class object. I call the speak method for the dog class. What should return? Just think about it, because speak method is here and speak method is here. This is parent class and this is child class. Pause the video and think what will return when you will call the speak method, parent class or child class. For the same, for the cat class also, cat dot speak. So in this case basically the child class method will be called, because the method name is same in the parent and child. So this means whenever we will directly call a method which is exist in parent class also, but the Python's program will give the preference to the child class. And what is the advantage or disadvantage of this one? See, whenever we are creating the object of a class, so the preference will be always to that particular class only. But if that method is not exist into the child class, then system will automatically call from the parents class. If, let me change the name of this, sorry, first I will show you the output of this one. Output, you will see dog dot speak, what is coming? Bark. Cat dot speak, what is coming? Meow. Now if I change the name of the function speak1 for this dog class, so automatically this function will call, because speak method, I am calling here what? Speak method, but speak method does not exist in the dog class. So if not exist, then system will search into the parent class. In the parent class speak method is exist, so this speak method will call here. Let me try. Make a sound. See, the make a sound method was called using the object of child class. Child class is the dog class. Same in case of, let's suppose if I write here speak to, okay, speak to, which method will call in the cat class? Same means this one, because speak method is not available into the cat class. Speak method is available in the parent class. Let me run the program. Make a sound. I make a sound. Okay, If let's suppose if I want to call here speak to method, which one will call? Because speak to method does not exist into the parent class, even it is available, but speak to function is available in the cat class. That's why system will call speak to method from the child class itself first. So let me run the program. Meow. So this method was called. Okay, let's move to the polymorphism. Polymorphism, basically it's a, always remember polymorphism, one name multiple functions, multiple work. So this is the feature of the polymorphism. Here let's suppose you, I gave the example, speak method was in the parent class, speak method was in the child class. How the system was behaving in case of similar name will found. The same thing we are going to discuss in the polymorphism, but in more detail. In the polymorphism, as I explained, one name, multiple task. So here in the bird class and this is penguin class. Both the classes have same method name, which is fly, here. So what will happen if I create the object of bird class and call the fly method? Which method will call? Of course, the same method. If I create the object of penguin class and call the fly method, which method will call? Of course, the same class method. So here bird class, penguin class, I'm calling fly and penguin. Let me see the output first. So bird can fly, penguin cannot fly. So basically the point here is just try to understand what is the use of this one. You understood which method will call, but what is the use in the application? Let's suppose you have multiple categories, but those categories um, will be defined logic, will have some different logics. So let's suppose if I give the example of class 8, class 9, class 10, these are the three classes, and the number of student in the class 8 9 class 8 9 and 10 might be different, and those students are performance might be different. So you will define three classes with the same function name in all three classes, like class performance, and based on some logic you will calculate the performance of the students. So once you will write these three classes, but in the main function where you want to call these three classes function, which is performance, into the main function, you will just create the object of these classes. But once user will give the input, I need the performance of the class 8, you will call the class 8 function name will be same, because the we are what we are doing in three classes, we are calculating performance of the student. So that's why we will create same name function in all the classes, and the calculation will might be different, but the function name will be same, class name will be different, because we are calculating for different classes. So this is the use of polymorphism. Next is encapsulation. In the encapsulation, basically what we are doing, we are defining a boundary of something. Okay, this is your boundary. We can call this particular thing within the class. If we want to call this particular thing outside the class, we have to follow a proper syntax. And also we have to give the warning to the user, this particular thing is for this class. If you are forcefully calling, then this is your guarantee, there might be a security breach. So that's why we have set some boundaries in the programming using encapsulation. So encapsulation, just focus on this particular class. Bank account is a class. In the bank account, I have a constructor, I have a deposit method, I have a get balance method. In the get balance method, what I'm doing, I'm just checking the balance of the particular thing. In the deposit, what I'm doing, I'm updating the balance, I'm adding something, I'm depositing something, and this is constructor. Now in this case, I'm just calling the object of the bank account class, account.deposit. I'm calling the deposit method, this deposit method. If the value is greater than 0, because I'm depositing, I'm not taking something, so that's why I'm checking here, amount should be greater than 0, and this particular amount whatever I'm depositing will add into the balance. So initially I'm putting something here, and then after that I'm calling deposit function and then get balance. So for deposit I will call this method, and to check the balance I'll call the get balance method. So basically this is the encapsulation. I'm defining some boundaries, but I will explain some other things in the next topic, which is properties, and in the property I'll explain this topic once again, but just try to understand the encapsulation till here, and keep your open question for the for like in the property and all. I will explain once again the encapsulation. Abstraction. Let me run this program. So here some error is there. Account balance is equal to this one somewhere. Oh, this dot. Let me remove this dot. So balance is 150. If I change this particular value to, let's suppose if I want to deposit 100 here, and which is initially I'm depositing 100 and again I'm depositing 100, so better I will deposit here 200, so that 120, let's suppose. So 100 is already there and 120 I'm depositing, and after that I'm checking the balance from using this particular function. So let me show you the output. So initial balance is 100, I have deposited 120, and total balance is 220. Next is abstraction. In the abstraction hide the internal implementation details and expose only the necessary functionalities. So basically what does it mean? Just think about it. Abstraction, what is the use of abstraction? In the previous videos I showed you the use of pass keyword, but in detail I'll show you now. Abstraction, let's suppose you have architect in your company. In the architect's task is to define some methods, to set some rules, and developers will follow those rules. So architect will go and he will write the function in the abstract class, and will forcefully, he will give the instruction to the developers to use those methods which is defined in the abstract classes. So those kind of things will be defined by the architect, and developers will follow those things. This is just an example, but don't think only architect will come and he will define. Developer can also do this thing, but I'm giving the example. In case of very big application, usually people follow this pattern. So in this class, what I'm doing, I have defined a function called area, but I don't know what logic I need to write in the function. So that's why I'm just writing this particular function using the pass keyword. Pass keyword, basically it is used when we don't have logic in our mind and we just want to keep the function. In future we will implement this function. But abstract method, this abstract method decorator will force this method, that this method will be defined somewhere in the child class. And next class is circle class. In the circle class I have a shape argument. In the shape argument, first of all, this is a constructor, and in this circle class I have another method called area method. So area method was there. Shape is what? Just think about shape. Shape is the parent class, so I'm passing the parent class into the child class. Now area function, which is already into the parent class, I have to define this area method into the child class. So area method is basically calculating area of a circle. So circle formula is very simple, pi r square. So pi r square I'm writing here, and this method will be called in anywhere else in the program by creating the object of the circle class, and circle class object is calling area method. So area method will be called by this object, and let me see how it is working. So area, basically I have given 5 as a radius, and the 5 radius will go to this function, and radius basically will be multiplied into the pi value, and first square then multiplied into the pi value, which is the formula is very simple, pi r square. Guys, do more practice to understand these things. Just first time, just copy paste, modify this syntax and do practice. You will understand each of the things. And don't give more time to the Python. Python is very simple. Python can come only by the practice. Just think about the syntax, and after that focus on the machine learning and data science things. Magic Dunder methods. So magic method, to be frank, this method is not much useful, but yes, still try to understand what is the use of this method and how the Python syntax works. So in the magic method, I have just declared a class called point class, In this class, I have declared three things: constructor, add method, and string method. So what is the use of this thing? These three things I am, whenever, let's suppose I want to, I have coordinates of something, or I have comma separated two values, I want to add those values. So there are so numerous ways in Python to do these kind of operations, but this magic function is really a magic function. You will also think how the function is working here. In the constructor, I have passed two variable, two parameters, x and y. X and y in the self.x, self.y, I'm just assigning these values. Add method, this add method is also a system defined method. Always remember this is two underscore, and in the last also two underscore. Self comma other, and what I am doing here, point, which is the class, and point self dot x plus other dot x comma self dot y plus other dot y. In this string, what I am doing, self dot x comma self dot y, I am returning here. So this will be the final output. So how, once I will call this particular class, create the object of this class, how the system will behave, because I have to pass two arguments. So two arguments a comma b, 1 comma 2 I have passed into the class object. So p1. Next is p2. Once I wrote this line, so this class will again call, and I will pass 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4 will pass here, but I have not used these two functions till now. But these two functions, how the system will call these two functions? Once you will write p1 plus p2 is equal to v1. So plus, this plus sign system will understand, system has to call add function. Add function, what the add function will do? The existing value plus other value. Other value is what? 3. And other value again in the other value for x is 3, other value for y is 4. So these two values, like 3 plus 1 will sum, 4 plus 2 will sum, and will go to the v1, and I am doing printing here. Once I will write the print function, then only this function will call. This function will call when I will call this print function. That's why this is called magic function. Let me show you the output. 4 comma 6. 4, 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, and 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. If I change this value, let's suppose 1 comma 3. So this will also change 4 comma 7. Property decorator, this is really useful function. In the property decorator, basically what we do, usually in programming we play with the methods, but sometime we need to write properties to make the programming easy and quick. So in this case, I have declared a class called temperature class. Again, the constructor is there, and this is a method called Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit method, this is just a method which is decorated with the property. So now this function will convert to the property. I can call this function as a property of this particular temperature class. Okay, so here I am creating an object of the temperature class. Once I will create the object and pass some value which is mandatory here, Celsius. So the system, the self dot Celsius will define, will initiate with the 25. Once I will call this particular property temp dot Fahrenheit, so this method will call, see I am not using parenthesis here, and also I cannot pass the parameter in this one. I can only read value as of now, but I will show you how we can pass the parameters. So here temperature in the Fahrenheit will be display here. So I have passed 25 as a Celsius. Let me see what is the Fahrenheit for this one. Fahrenheit for this one is 77. Okay, guys, next example, similar example, but I'll show you how we can assign the value into the property. See, mostly methods are written to take the input also, return value plus input also to the method. But in the property, how we can use the property to take the input from the user. So in the bank account class, you will understand this is very simple, a constructor, just a constructor, balance property, and balance is here this one method, and this is also I have converted to the property. But this method will be used as a setter, and this method will be used as a getter. You can understand from the syntax itself, there is no calculation, just the value of the balance variable will return. But this one we are setting some values here. So in the balance method, first of all I'm creating the object of the bank account class. I'm passing two arguments, which is owner and second is the balance. Owner, this particular value will pass here, balance 1000 will pass here, which will set in these two properties. Now let me go to the next one. Once you will you will call this ACC, which is the object of this account balance class, and balance method. So balance method, basically this method will be balance method, this one will be called. So just to show you the account balance, okay, so in next line what I'm doing, ACC, the object of this class, dot balance, and I'm assigning some value. Once I will assign some value, system will understand and will call this particular method. And once the system will call this particular method, the value which I am assigning here will go to this method and the value will update into the balance property. Okay, let me run this program. 1000. If I change here, let's suppose if I'm okay, let me print this particular thing again, because I'm assigning something, some 2000, and after that I want to print it again. So 2000, because I assigned a 200. But here, you know what I'm doing, I'm directly assigning this one. If I add the value to this one, then the value will be something else, 3000, because I'm adding the input value into the existing value. So this is the properties here. So guys, that's it for today's video, and we will come back very soon with a brand new video and with new concept.